podcast. SML Brodown, Primetime 000, Field General 007. We got some more quick hitting questions this time, and we're just kind of talk about the day to day. First, let's talk about some scandals. Let's make it interesting. Talk about things that it's gonna be the juice. Okay, so
Yes.
we're gonna talk. Where did your CFM career begin?
Yeah, so I started off playing. I got a text from a guy who I don't even know how. I applied on some forums, like some free forums. Applied to a league. I've really have only been in one league. We played for quite some time there. Um, I pretty much I feel like I played pretty well in that league. Won a lot of championships. Got kicked from that league. We took quite a long hiatus, I would say. Probably I don't know. What do you think? 6 months to a year, roughly. And then we ended up making our league.
Actually, I
And
think that it was like the idea of starting it was pretty quick because it was like Easter or whatever
yeah,
when all that went down. I
yeah,
think we started like launching it, but it just kind of took a while to get.
yeah, yeah. Until we got serious with it, it was some time. And I think that now, looking back at it, I could not be in a league ran by anybody else, like in a serious fashion. Maybe just to tittle around and practice some stuff. But if you build so much, you have to have a trust with the commissioner, and it's hard to find good people. It's hard to find good people in the Madden community.
I know they said kind of so long and good luck, when they heard that we were trying to start our own thing. What was your favorite part about SGC?
Um, you know, it was a long standing league, and they had some guys there that were, the chat was somewhat active, and I
Mm-hmm.
think they had the right idea in mind of having an active chat and being a sim league. They adjusted the sliders, which was cool. They had some cool stuff going on gameplay wise. It's tough to run a league, so yeah, I don't have any resentment towards them necessarily, but there's some things that they did that inspired us probably, and
Yeah,
you grab inspiration from all sorts of leagues, I would say.
the majority of the ideas when we started was basically a carbon copy of what they did. We even the advanced schedule comes
Yeah,
from that. And the big thing was the negative. Big thing for me was the negative, not negative, but the inability to take user input, towards the rules,
yeah,
especially like the fourth down rules and stuff like that. Like they were, hey, these are the rules, just the way it is, regardless of, the majority of guys wanted, some type of change or whatever. Other than
yeah,
that, I think the biggest derogatory remark I have was just the way that it kind of fell out with you. Basically you were winning Super Bowls and they booted you saying that it was cheese that supposedly they warned you about. But I mean, you probably rolled out of the pocket more back then than what you
yeah,
do now. But the plays are still this. I mean, it's wide receiver drag, slot cross. You don't have
yeah,
that in your playbook anymore. But you know,
yeah. Maybe I need to add that back.
you had that. I looked for it. I can't find it.
Uh,
But it was the same plays, and I just didn't like how that kind of shook down. So that would be kind of
yeah.
my biggest gripe. What do you think is the biggest SML scandal so far?
Oh, in SML history.
Yeah.
Oh,
What
uh,
sticks out in your mind? Nothing?
not really. Not really. Honestly, I don't think we've.
We haven't
I don't
had
think.
anything like major. So the piggy thing is kind of like looking
Oh,
back at it
Mr.
now, that's
Piggy.
funny.
Yeah, I forgot
At
about
the
that.
time, that was kind of like, oh shit, that was kind of a
Yeah,
blunder. El Chizio is a pain in the ass.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
he,
No, anytime you let's rewind to the Piggy thing. I added somebody from one of those recruitment chats. Just bad idea. He came in. His name was Mr. Piggy Piggy. He removed everybody from Group Me. This is pre-Gort. He changed the picture in chat to a pig, and it was just me and him. And he's like, "You got pigged on" or something.
yeah.
So I was just like, "Oh, jeez." So oh, I think okay. I do have a number one. I do have a number one.
What do
It
you
was when
got?
we had the I can't. I'm not gonna say his name, but he was a little crazy. He cut his whole team. He changed the players' names, changed which college they went to, changed their numbers, changed their position, made Aaron Rodgers a derogatory name to one of our members.
Oh,
Just
really?
he spent. You might not have been here for that.
I don't remember
Local,
that, dude. Oh, I
yeah,
remember. I remember Local West, but I don't
yeah,
remember him doing all that.
yeah. He changed like Aaron Rodgers to a left-handed defensive end, and he named the name like meets is a poozy B word.
Oh, the
I
Poosey
mean,
bitch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where that originates from.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. I don't.
yeah.
I must not have
And
been in
he
chat that day.
said that he was going to go to like maybe somebody meets his college and kill him. And I mean,
Really?
that guy was wild. Yeah,
But
that
he
guy was
took
wild.
off, and I don't mean to make this comparison, but he took off much like Bomber. You know, he was kind of your favorite. He was your. Don't laugh about it. That
I
was your
liked him.
favorite son when he first
Yeah,
came on. You know, he was doing
yeah,
a lot of content.
yeah.
You
That's
liked
true.
his ideas, and I think
I
you
did
made him
like
a
his
chat
idea.
moderator or something. You did something with him where he got
I think
promoted pretty quick.
we almost made him a chat mod. Yeah, I don't know. I think we did
I
for
think
about
he
a week.
was. I think he had a little bit of an
Yeah,
admin. So sometimes before you fall in love or get married, you might want to date around for a little bit.
yeah,
But
yeah. We've since changed our methods of madness.
yeah.
Nobody else is an admin. Well, I think that's why.
um, but then like there was Chizo, and basically that's when he kind of made the remarks that about you starting martial law or enacting martial law or
Yeah,
something like that. And there
yeah,
was a lot of little
stupid.
arguments. Like anytime that you would start or just try to enforce the rules, you know, like hey, this is the
Yeah,
event schedule. We're going to play preseason. It's a no
yeah,
catch rule, whatever it might be. Man, that started up
yeah,
a shitstorm that I did not
yeah.
expect.
Yeah, that was you would be surprised how many things people blow up about.
Yeah.
But I think that's the hard part about running the league is that first year or two. If you can make it past that first cycle and then get into the next cycle, I think you're going to make it. But you have to stand firm in what you believe, but you also have to listen. And listening is tough because if you give too much, then they'll take a mile.
hmm So let's take a look at some standings real quick. Yeah, Coach Paulie's 6-0 as the time of recording, and Washington 6-0. Which one of those guys stays undefeated longer?
I'm going to say Washington. I think his schedule's a little lighter than Paulie's.
Okay. And really, I mean, Graham's is kind of he's a dark horse or whatever kind of name you want to put on. He's 6-1. He's doing it quietly. What do you think about Graham's? Is he legit right now? I mean, you have to look. He's doing really good. I think he's got. I think he's definitely in the playoffs.
Yeah, 6-1 going to be tough for him to miss the playoffs. His schedule isn't the toughest. To finish out, he's got the Falcons, who's washed up. He's got the Bears, NYT, who's good, but he's can lose quite a bit as well.
Me.
Uh,
That's a
he's got
circle win.
he's got Rowan Kuh, Woods, who's struggling, and Rowan Kuh. I mean, really, he's only got two or three really great opponents left. So I think he's going to make the playoffs. Do I think he's a legit Super Bowl contender? No, not right now.
His stats are really mediocre. Like offense, he's not in the top 10 of anything. He's only allowing 16 points per game, which is fourth best in the league. But the rest of his defense is like bend but don't break on defense. I'm not seeing a whole lot of like anything that stands out to me
Yeah, he hasn't beaten anybody with a winning record yet.
outside of the fact that it looks like he's doing a pretty good job of distributing the ball
Yeah,
in the passing game. But outside of that, he's not lighting it up, stat
no.
wise. But still, he's 6-1. So
Yeah, if he's winning, that's all he's got to do.
good luck to
But
Grams.
yeah,
That's
for
good to
sure.
see. Always good to see someone dig it out. And then I want to talk about the 0-7 Chiefs, Raider. I'm not trying to cast shade. I don't want to piss him off, but is Raider going to be able to turn this around? Is it just because the talent's too good, of the user talent's too good, and he's just not quite there, especially being in that division? Or what's his woes?
Yeah, that division's tough. He hasn't been too competitive this season. I'm sure he's got an early pick he wants next year. Raiders the type of guy where if he starts off slow,
Mm-hmm.
I think he kind of checks out mentally a bit. Now, there's been some seasons, I think last cycle, where he made the playoffs or something. So, um, I don't know. Anything's possible, but I'm going to say it's not till next season where we see a true resurgence of Raider fans.
So you're not putting a total verdict on him until you at least see next season at this point.
Yeah, yeah. Let him get a running back or something so we can have Mahomes, Hill, and some sort of superstar X Factor running back.
Okay. Out of all the guys that are here right now that do not have the Simbardi, who's going to be the first one to do it and why?
That's a good question. I'm going to say Washington, and only because I think the obvious choice is Bomber,
Right.
but he seems to struggle getting past there's something mentally there where he seems to struggle getting past Dan. And if he gets past Dan this year, I know there's a lot of people saying that it's his year, but I'm not totally buying in. He hasn't beaten anybody with a winning record yet this year, um, and he still makes quite a bit of mistakes. I'm going to say Washington, a little more dynamic, and I think it'll be easier for him to get out of the NFC than it will be for Bomber to get out of the AFC.
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking over at the stats right now. I think Washington takes care of the football maybe a little bit better. It looks like running, no, Bombers doing a better job running the ball. He's got almost
Yeah,
900 yards already, 17 tutties to 8 picks. I mean, Bombers doing a pretty good job. He's 5 and
yeah,
2, but
great player.
I haven't really watched Washington, so I can't speak about it outside the fact that you look at the stats and the fact that he's 6-0 right now.
Yeah,
And like you said, he's coming out of the NFC and the AFC, the top, like Bomber, and you talked about it before, the top half or the top group of teams are a little bit better than the AFC than what they are in the NFC. So I think that Washington has an easier track to it.
yeah,
But I wouldn't put. I mean, I think Bomber's going to get one this cycle. I think his team's really good. You're not as dominant as you have been in years past, so he seems like he's got your number, which has been punching his ticket to the AFC Championship game. So if you get there enough times, eventually you're gonna get the monkey off your back. Now, what will happen if he gets to the Super Bowl? I mean, will he get his cheeks clapped? Will he just fold? I don't know, but that'd be kind of interesting to watch. So hopefully he gets it done.
yeah, yeah. No, he's deserving of it. Definitely deserving of it.
What's your favorite game all time outside of Madden?
Uh, Probably Pokemon.
Yeah,
You know, I don't know. I mean, I'm not an avid gamer by any means. I enjoy the God of War game, but probably Pokemon. Just a lot of nostalgia there.
all the XD, Gale of Darkness, and
Yeah,
Coliseum, and all that.
yeah, probably XD. I enjoyed Ruby and Sapphire quite a bit, and then
Yeah, I took your
I
game
bought
to
the
get the final Pokemon, and that kid stole it.
yeah, yeah. What a shame that was.
Got
That's probably
hoed
like
out.
what was I 12 or so probably when that happened.
I was in
Um,
middle school.
oh, so I was probably 9.
Yeah,
Um, and I replayed the remakes of that, Omega Ruby or
yeah.
whatever, and I beat that, and that kind of got me back into it a little bit, playing the remakes. But I think actually my favorite Pokemon game of all time is probably Soul Silver.
Yeah.
That's probably the best Pokemon game of all time, Heart Gold, Soul Silver.
When you see the products that have come out now for PS5, where I can't do a skin on it because I've seen like you have too much white where it doesn't cover
Yeah,
it. D brand has a matte black case that you can get. It's just you snap yours off, put those on, but they're like think $80 or something ridiculous like that. Would you consider switching them out, or do you think that they're gonna get more? I
yeah.
don't know what word, more variety or more widespread with aftermarket parts. Do you think Sony's going to shut that down?
I think
They
they actually
didn't.
did shut somebody down
They
already.
did, but
Oh,
they
they call it back.
they're in litigation. I think D brand won that
Oh, really?
amongst
Well,
other companies that they shut down.
yeah. They always seem like they could have some cool ideas with consoles. It seems like those come out like 2 or 3 years down the road.
Mm.
Um, I think there's a Spider-Man one you had for the PS4 Pro that was kind of cool.
That
Um,
was just straight from Sony.
that's straight from Sony. I probably will never switch mine out just because I get nervous doing that stuff. Um, but yeah, it'd be cool to see like a black PS5 just in general. I think.
Yeah, that's what D brand offers. I'll throw it up on the screen right here. Um, I forget what this thing costs though. I think it's
Yeah,
kind of outrageous. Let's see, disc version. $60 since I'm back
yeah.
order right now. Ships in May, and then they
Yeah,
sell like a skin where you can change like the middle of it. They got a couple different designs. I don't know. I thought about taking mine because it's made to come off from factory. That way you can clean
yeah,
out the dust where the dust captures in there. So they literally slide off. They're not screwed on or anything like that.
yeah,
Um, I thought about taking mine off and plastic dipping them
yeah. That'd be kind of cool.
because it's cheap.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just plastic fins. They probably, other than like making it stand up, they probably don't really serve much of a purpose.
No. So we'll move back to kind of the stats a little bit more projection before we call it on this. But let me switch back. Well, I mean, I'd say I was going to ask you about the divisions, but they kind of look set
Yeah, most
outside
of
of
the
the NFC South.
Yeah, the only comment I want to make, and I took aim, but I'm going to continue to take aim at kind of the SML here, a little social experiment I've been doing.
What's that?
Um, with Broncos, like here's the deal: you got, and I've created this click thing. I kind of poke fun at a little
Hmm.
bit, but if you watch it, it's actually true. Dan can do no wrong in front of about 8 to 10 guys. Like they believe this guy can do no wrong.
Okay.
He's got him wrapped around his finger. Um, he's let Von Miller go. He's traded away a superstar quarterback, and they're like, oh well, he's all right. He's not lost a step. He'll be fine. Blah 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 blah. And they're fine with that. But when I have a star quarterback, I don't have Andrew Luck. The Colts defense sucked to start this cycle.
Hmm.
Then it's oh yeah, Prime's done. So it's just interesting how Dan gets these get out of jail for free passes. I would like to see some people hold Dan's feet to the fire. You failed in getting a replacement for Von Miller. You traded away your X Factor quarterback, and you lost to Colt 45 this year. You still can't beat Prime in a real game. You've choked in 3 straight Super Bowls, basically, or whatever it is now, or 2 Super Bowls. Um, couldn't get past QB. I'm kind of challenging some of the dance supporters to realize, like, maybe this guy isn't as great as what they say he is.
Well, I think the my thoughts on that, and maybe the majority of guys would agree, especially the guys that have been in the league a long time or from the start. Your demeanor and the way that you carry yourself in chat and on the podcast is completely different than
Oh yeah,
what it
oh yeah,
was at the beginning. You know, you were kind of everybody's best friend, and didn't suspend anybody. You just wanted to keep the league alive. I was the authoritarian type, just no nonsense, but I would kill the chat problems or anything like that. And you weren't really boastful. You didn't take on the prime character until, I don't know, we were probably 2 years in before you really started
yeah, yep,
the chest pounding and all that. And so now I feel that you've done that, which I don't know if you did it to create interest or what exactly, but now that you've done all that, you've always got the target, and Dan
yeah.
doesn't because he's not drawing attention to himself.
It creates the reason I do that is not because I actually care that much, but it's to create I guess like you said, drama.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, I kind of stopped doing that this season just to see as well, like kind of what people would say, and now they
It's
want me
too
to
late.
do it. Like,
It's too late. The
yeah,
damage is done.
yeah, no, like the Bomber and Faz said on their podcast, like, oh yeah, like it's kind of boring without Prime saying this or whatever. So
Right.
so now I have to do it. Now I got to go back in. I got to play the bad cop. I've got to attack Dan. I got to call him out. I'll go down the list. I got to say Matt's not legit. He's not going to win a championship. I can go down this whole list of guys in the SML that need to step it up. Um, and the fact of the matter is, it's just purely entertainment for me.
So Bomber has, statistically, he's a better offense than you. Well, he's definitely a better offense than you. Defensively,
Yeah,
you're almost number one in every category. He has 9 players on his roster, 90 overall better. You have 7.
yeah,
He's 5-2 right now, and you're 5-1.
yeah.
Do you know what you are head to head against Dan?
Against Dan or Bomber.
Dan.
Dan, this cycle where I'm 2-1, but the one loss, I benched all my starters and he played all his, and I didn't call any of my plays because of week 17.
Okay. Man,
So
it's close to call. I'd like to see you guys play. Have you guys played in the playoffs yet?
who, me and Dan? No,
Yeah.
no, we haven't played. Every season, Bombers knocked me out, except for one.
So what's the key to getting over the Bomber hump? Or
I'm actually
outside of
feeling,
not shooting yourself in the foot with multiple
yeah.
turnovers?
Well, I did something a little bit different against Bomber this season. We played, and I pretty much I feel I controlled that game, and I won. Um, and, and recently, other than that playoff game, I've had some pretty good success against Bomber. Recent success. I kind of attribute that to having a little bit better of a quarterback. He got up on me like 4-0 before I won a game, which makes the head to head look pretty bad. But I think that the key is he takes away all the deep stuff, and that's kind of that's kind of his goal against me in any ways, to kind of take away the deep stuff and to not let the prime post, the prime deep seam or whatever it
Right.
is. And I think that just patient, running the ball, keeping it underneath, and I went back and listened to his streams to see what he was thinking, and it makes him pull his hair out a little bit. But
Right.
how often can you be patient, and can you stick with it? That's kind of the goal. Obviously, Bomber changes up his game plan more than anybody.
Mhm.
I'm not afraid to take the deep shot either, obviously, but I think just being patient against him. He's got stars everywhere. Know that you're going to get sacked, but don't throw 5 picks in a playoff game is obviously a wise thing to do.
I think the way you typically play, I'm not seeing it so much from a statistical standpoint this season because your leading receiver is Jonathan Taylor, has been the deep bomb. The post route to Campbell, or last year you really abused the hell out of T.Y. Hilton's abilities.
Yeah,
Uh, it seems like this season, just from a stat standpoint, outside the fact that your interception to touchdown ratio is not too great just yet, it seems like you're taking care of the ball a little better and distributing the pass, not just trying to chuck it to DK.
yeah.
What, from a defensive standpoint, I mentioned it before as well. Do you think that the the lurking and the linebacker, the user covering in general, has been nerfed this year? Does that hurt your defensive style of play, or have you?
Yeah, I feel like I used to have like a top three user, and I still might, but it's not that big of a difference maker. Maybe I have a top five. I don't know what I would be, but I would like to rate myself a top five user. Let's say. I actually think for a while there, my sub linebacker was leading the league in interceptions. I don't know if that's still the case or not, but even if you're a good user, you don't make quite the difference that you used to back in Madden's past, and that is a little bit of a skill gap difference because I would that was momentum changing plays for a while there, um, and that's just something we've had to get accustomed to. I know Grams. I think that's part of the reason why Grams has struggled as of late is he would do this bait and switch style where
Right,
he would come in and then shoot back up and he
like
would get the
Oshi.
picks. Yeah, and
Oshi was bad for that.
yeah, Oshie was
So
Oshie was probably the
players like that you had to nerf it for because it's just not
yeah,
realistic, especially with how small the football field is in Madden
yeah,
compared to how large it is in real life. You just can't cover that space, and in Madden you
yeah.
can. Let me ask you this: who are the top three guys, the top three teams for interceptions? Do you know?
Oh, I'm gonna guess I'm up there. I'm gonna guess probably Bombers up there with his defense. And if I were to guess just off of the top of my head, I'm just gonna guess Dump. I don't know.
So number one is Bomber, 30.
Okay.
Number two is Prime with 28, and with 26, do you know who? Number three is gonna probably surprise you.
Okay.
Do you want to take one more guess? Not
I'll
Dump.
just name it. I'll name a weird one. Mike FML. I don't know.
No, Hova. He's spinning around there, number three
Oh,
with
geez.
26 INTs, bro. I think he picked
Wow.
up a lot though
Mike. Yeah, he had
against
like six
Mike.
picks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody
Well,
or have the top three teams played Mike FML? Because I know I got five against Mike.
I might be looking at the. There's like two different. No, I'm not looking at the
Oh,
defense.
geez.
I'm looking at the defensive interceptions. So your sack numbers are god awful. Do you know how many sacks you have this season
No, no,
defensively?
no.
You got five.
Oh,
You're
geez, that is bad.
24th in the league. The Patriots are first with 20. The Raiders 16. The Cowboys 16. The Titans 15, and the Chiefs at 15.
I'm
You're
getting so
nowhere
many picks
near
though.
there,
Yeah, I'm getting so many picks though, and you can't. I don't blitz a lot too. I don't know.
right?
Do people blitz anymore? I don't know. I don't know if people blitz or not anymore. I don't. Maybe I should
I
start.
don't blitz a whole lot. I try to mix it in there, but I've only got 6 sacks so far, so
Yeah,
they're
it's,
just not there. That's interesting. I didn't realize where the defensive stats like they needed to come down because guys were having, you know, 46 or 50 sacks or more a season, and that's just
yeah,
not realistic. It
yeah,
needs like the pressure itself probably needs to go up. They
yeah,
need to fine tune like the throw at a sack or whatever, and they need to be quarterback hurries. Your
yeah,
quarterback getting knocked down and stuff like that. I think the pressure itself does need to be like Meats complains about. It does need to be a lot, a little bit higher. But if you go messing with sliders, I think it's going to mess with the game. So I think that that's what
yeah,
they need to fix. Next cycle.
yeah. It's also hard to judge stats right now. For example, I played Faz, Bomber, and Dan in my first 6 games. Where some guys haven't played anybody with a winning record yet. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But definitely pressure, how a quarterback throws his passes, are all would be nice, welcome changes for the first PS5 real game.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think, man, it's kind of amazing how McDowell is still a top passer. You know, he's only 72 overall or
Yeah,
something like, or 74 overall.
he's thrown a lot with him. I think he's leading the league in attempts as well.
Wow. Well, I'm gonna wrap this up. We're on 25 minutes right now. You got anything that you
Well,
want to close with?
no, man. I just thanks for having me. Just out here trying to stir the pot a little bit as usual. We'll see what happens.
Appreciate you guys tuning in. Check us out, simmanleague.com, daddyleagues.com/SML. You got a problem with Prime, take it up with Prime. He's the one running his
Yeah.
mouth. I'm just here to facilitate it to you. But I'm still looking
Yeah.
for my first actual win. My one win was a sim win, so
Hmm.
I'm the mayor of Loserville right now. So if you guys play me and you want to throw me a bone, you know,
Yeah, it'd be nice.
I'll take a win.
Mhm.
All right, guys, we'll catch you later. Like, subscribe, take care. Have a great day.